My name is Elizabeth Van Nostrand. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Health Policy and Management at the University of Pittsburgh's Graduate School of Public Health. I'm delighted to tell you a little about a project I'm leading to identify which interventions given to individuals who are arrested for drug misuse impact non-fatal and fatal opioid overdose events. I would like to thank the CDC for funding this project, which began in September 2019 and will conclude in August of 2023. The purpose of this study is to rigorously evaluate strategies being used by state and local health departments to prevent fatal and non-fatal overdose from prescription and/or illicit opioids. I am leading a multidisciplinary integrated team with an ongoing record of accomplishments that have advanced the fields of biostatistics, evaluation, law, modeling, and preventive medicine, particularly as they relate to opioid overdose prevention. Adults incarcerated following arrest for drug misuse are a vulnerable population. Historically, the role of the courts in these cases is to impose sanctions and protect society from future harm. Problem-solving courts are an existing public health intervention that refer arrested individuals to treatment as a pretrial diversionary strategy. Although previous studies have examined the effect of problem-solving courts on recidivism, characteristics of individual problem-solving court policies, procedures, and practices, and their impact on morbidity and mortality rates have not been rigorously evaluated. Our study employs a mixed methods design using qualitative and quantitative analyses and agent-based modeling. The problem-solving courts included in our study are located in the 30 counties highlighted by colors. The colors represent the rate of fatal overdose events. The warmer colors represent higher rates. The cooler colors reflect lower rates. The icons represent the 57 problem-solving courts located in the highlighted counties, and the circles represent Indiana's 17 correctional facilities. Aim 1 will evaluate the implementation of specific policies and procedures of Indiana's problem-solving courts and correctional facilities. To do this, we are creating legal data sets by coding sentencing records, court and prison protocols, as well as the qualitative interviews of judges and their problem-solving court team members, assistant wardens, and organizations with which these institutions have contracted to perform services. Indiana has linked multiple state-held data sources into a central repository at Indianapolis's Management Performance Hub, and we're partnering with them to perform data linkages. The data sets that are integral to our study include information pertaining to arrest, custody in a Department of Correctional Facility, EMS calls, emergency department visits, inpatient hospitalizations, and death. Individuals who were arrested in Indiana counties for drug misuse in the aforementioned jurisdictions from January 1st, 2018 through June 30, 2021 will be included in our study. Of particular interest will be the time windows noted in the literature as being critically important, those being 2-week, 4-week, 6-month, and 1-year post-release. Individual level covariates will include race and ethnicity, gender, age, and time at risk. Descriptive analyses on all study variables will be conducted, and outcomes among the cohort will then be evaluated using difference in difference and time to event analyses. The Public Health Dynamics Lab at the University of Pittsburgh is developing an agent-based model that represents the transition among various stages of opioid abuse. Historically, these types of agent-based models have been used to simulate the natural history of disease progressions. The use of modeling has been very limited in the opioid epidemic space because of the variability among laws and policies. Pitt Public Health will reconstruct the natural history without the impact of problem-solving courts and simulate the potential impact of interventions in jurisdictions where such practices have not been utilized. Although we are in the preliminary stages of our study due to delays precipitated by the pandemic, some initial findings have emerged primarily from the qualitative interviews of correctional staff or correctional facility personnel. The Department of Correction in Indiana determines policies for individual correctional facilities, and they vary by prison. Our qualitative interviews have revealed that interventions typically offered to the prison population in Indiana include life skills and job training, Alcoholic Anonymous and Narcotic Anonymous meetings, and Thinking for Change, which is a cognitive behavioral therapy program. Post-release, several facilities are offering a peer-to-peer program. And novel interventions include allowing pets to be cared for by inmates because many of them have never had to care for anything besides themselves. Also, some of the private facilities are providing incarcerated individuals with iPads so that they can continue group meetings during COVID. Our study has revealed that MAT is not commonly offered, and when it is usually naltrexone, which is also known as Vivitrol. The assistant wardens have also identified some programmatic problems. Not surprising, multiple facilities have mentioned long waiting lists for substance abuse treatment, the lack of adequate space dedicated to those seeking treatment, and insufficient funding to carry out their programs. With respect to what we hope to accomplish in our study, in terms of proximal outcomes, we anticipate that our study's findings will increase awareness of public health practices to members of the judiciary and problem-solving court teams and corrections personnel regarding which intervention or combination of interventions impact health outcomes. The anticipated distal outcomes include the adoption of identified impactful interventions by problem-solving courts and correctional facilities across jurisdictions. And the anticipated long-term outcomes of our project include lowered opioid-related morbidity and mortality rates for those arrested for drug-related charges who are provided with impactful treatments, therapies, and services. We also hope that the coding methods developed in this study will serve as a template to other legal epidemiologists who examine the impact of law and policy on the public's health. Thank you for this opportunity to share our study with you. I look forward to meeting you during the small group workshop discussions.